feel like in the past, maybe people have this impression of us that we've been discouraging that other people should try and be YouTubers. I think in some older Simply videos, we've kind of joked like, oh, don't be a YouTuber. You're not going to get anywhere. Like, it's not a real career or it's not a real job. We might have, through jokes, participated in that. So I just want to clarify that. Early on when I was starting out in YouTube land, I was absolutely not at the point where I could, let's say, like replace my future lifetime earnings from my day job with YouTube. Like this was early on. I realized there was a lot of money, but I truly did not think that the money I was making when I first started making money would last for 5 years, like to current now. I thought it was going to be like, maybe I'll be big for like a year or two. And I remember there was other creators telling me like, you're famous now, you got 2 years, make the most of it, make as many videos as you can, because after that, it's going to drop, it's going to go away. And I was like, okay, like that sounds like reasonable advice. And what I hear from the media and like discourse that, fame is fleeting and you're going to be broke after this, so you better save your money and think smart and think long term. What are you going to do after YouTube? I was already thinking about all these things in like 2015.
And it's true, like a lot of people look at like the successful YouTubers, their peak success, typically there are there are exceptions to the rule, but most people aren't very successful for many years.
So I think that's ultimately the message that I want to underscore is the most successful people you see on YouTube are set for life, generally speaking.
The most people you see?
The most successful. Sorry, the top tier of
depends
YouTubers,
how you define that,
and it also depends how they save their money. Like if they buy 800 Lambos, then they're not set for life. Well, actually, they could sell them.
But like I feel like you're right. In old Simply videos, we used to sort of play devil's advocate, I guess you could say, because I think we were seeing a lot of YouTubers give pretty irresponsible advice to young people, which like I know it sounds great and it's like very aspirational to just hear like follow your dreams and do whatever you want, but. I just don't think that's necessarily realistic advice to give.
I don't think it's good advice.
Just follow your dreams.
Like it's lazy advice. It's an easy way out advice. It's advice that makes people go like, "Oh yeah, you're so smart. I
can
respect
just do whatever
you."
I want.
Like, but it's not practical. And maybe that's just me and my personality trait of a logistician, I think. Like, I need practical advice. So if someone told me, like, just follow my dreams, like, I'm going to roll my eyes at them because it's not real advice to me.
But, like, maybe some people mean that genuinely, too. But I also think our perception is some YouTubers are just selling that idea to you. Part of their whole appeal and their content is about selling this sort of aspirational idea. You're watching their videos, dreaming of how you could be like them, and they're telling you, hey, just sign up, become a member of my family, and maybe you could have this success too. Like anything like that creeped us out to the point where I think we really did sort of take very much the opposite stance.
That's exactly what happened. That's how I feel. Like it was around the time when Jake Paul was promoting like Edfluence or like he had these programs where you would pay money to sign up and you'd learn the tips and tricks to be as famous and rich as him on YouTube. Like that's not selling anything of value. I'm sorry. Like that's not real. He is incredibly lucky and fortunate. He works hard. I'm not saying he doesn't work hard, but you can't just tell kids sign up for $10 a month and like you'll be me. Like, that's not true. And so I remember at that time when that was happening, we didn't have a podcast, so we didn't have a long time to talk about this, but occasionally in Simply videos,
like mom and dad reflection
mom and dad.
Moments.
I remember like us speaking on that mostly to offer a counterbalance to what was going on in that era, which was people like Jake Paul saying, you can be whatever you want. You can be a YouTuber, fuck school. I didn't go to school. Look at me. You can do this. And I was like, oh my God, no.
No, stop.
No, stop. Like, please think carefully. There are things that matter. And that's where maybe some early ideas come from when it comes to like us suggesting that it maybe isn't so realistic to just be a YouTuber, and we want people to think a little bit more about their futures and take it seriously when you consider your career options in education.
But that's no fun.
But it's not intended to discourage, and it is also not ever to suggest to people like you have to follow the same path that I did with education or job, because everyone has a different desire and everyone has a different skill set and what they like want to do with those skills. So like I apologize if I never fully fleshed that out, because I feel like in my very brief like few minute conversations we might have had on Simply years ago, there was a few people who left with that impression that I was like dismissing you if you didn't go to school like me, or you know, wanted to be like a beauty blogger or something, and I thought that, oh, like that was fleeting. Like I was coming from a place of trying to offer practical advice in the sense of being a counterbalance to all the opposite advice I was seeing on YouTube that I just don't think is helpful.
Yeah, that's
I've
very
said my
well said.
piece.
You got that off your chest.